Yo, what's up? It's time. How many people y'all actually knew about what went on back in these days, man? Let me show y'all how crazy this stuff was. A lot of people didn't know. And we finna tell you now. When it came to Prodigy and Nas, these two were like synonymously known for what they've done in Queensbridge, every borough you could think of. They showed love. But here's the thing. Prodigy and Nas never really had a beef with each other. It was always the people around them. But when it came to outside people, they definitely didn't like outside people messing with their situation or they borough, in other words. Take, for instance, the rapper who goes by the name of Jay-Z. Now, this started back on the Volume 1 album, but mainly when the Streets is Watching video came out. At this time, Mobb Deep is looked at as a hood classic. You know, they're doing their thing in the industry. They coming up. You know, nobody's really in their way. They just holding it down. Now, as Jay-Z's dropped Volume 1, this is way before New York been soft before, they've been soft before New York came and crushed the buildings. So this is before he dropped that line. He was throwing some lines in there, throwing shots at Mobb Deep. Because Prodigy used to rap and talk about, Marcy and all this going through Mars. And when he said that in the line, I'm from the place where you and your man hung in every verse in your rhyme. He was talking about Prodigy. Because Prodigy was the only person that was talking about Marcy at the time. So it was like, whoa, he was taking shots at Mobb Deep back then. And see, this is back when, rappers listened to other rappers' lyrics and people used to come and hear the lyrics and they would go find the artist and let them know what was going on. So when he was watching the videos, when he did the Where I'm From video, he was in there wearing a football jersey with the red cup sitting outside trying to copy what they did in the bridge. What Nas' video was like. So at this time, Murder Music comes out. They biggest CD. Got Quiet Storm on it. Mobb Deep, which is a gold group, is now got the opportunity to go platinum. And now they selling 1 million records. The remix alone sold over 1 million with Lil' Kim. They were the biggest thing in demand. They was big on the West Coast and the East Coast. Mobb Deep, you wouldn't even believe that. So now Mobb Deep can write their own ticket. They huge now. They've made it. They've arrived. So P, who didn't like a lot of people in the industry anyway, decided, you know what I'm finna do? I'm finna make a movie, done. Yeah, finna make a movie, man. These lame ass niggas, they can make a movie. He was talking about Master P. Master P and No Limit Records. He didn't like them. Well, he didn't like. He just thought they were whack as hell. That was his opinion of them. Like these was whack. Like he thought Master P and them was the wackest thing around, but they got to make movies. Like man, why can't we just put that out? You know what I'm saying? Put it in the stores. You know, we put it in the stores and crank it out. The hood alone, we gonna make. Oh, shoot, we sell 500,000 probably right here in the hood. It's gonna sell like records. Now imagine if we sold 1 million tapes, VHS tapes of some of our movie. It's gonna be crazy, son. I mean, you know what I'm saying, Dun? It's gonna be crazy. So they got what they people, this guy from the hood that they knew was to direct it, and then they went to filming the movie. So all the people they knew a whole bunch of people they can get to act in it. So people was just in it for free, just to be in the movie. And guys was getting in the shootouts, all kind of stuff. I mean, they had a crazy shootout scene in one of the scenes in the movie. It was crazy with Noah. But yeah, we used to watch murder music movie all the time. And it showed what it was like in the bridge, in that area, in that project. And if you wasn't from over there, they didn't really like that. You know, so it was a different experience. So while he's filming this movie, there's a lot of stuff going on. Like, man, they filming a movie, man. So people out checking it out. Nas catch wind of the movie. So Nas is coming back around the crib. Like, P filming a movie? Like, man, they doing it big. Ew. Word. So he hit up P. Like, y'all filming a movie? And he was like, yeah, done. Yeah, we filming this little movie, man. You should come slide through so you could be part of the movie, man. You know, we can't make a QB movie without, the Prince of QB out here doing this thing. You know, you been the main one repping QB. You gotta be in the movie, done. Ew. Why? So, so Nas came all the way over. Nas came all the way over to where they were at. Oh, at the soundtrack studio where they was recording. And he's supposed to be on the soundtrack. But the reason why Nas wasn't around is because he was trying to get his own label started. Because he was trying to blow his own crew up and make his own crew blow. And get all that set up with because first he was trying to get a Bravehearts album to jump everything off. But since he just started a new label, this Ill Will Records, he just got that up and going. He wanted to launch it. So the first thing he wanted to do to launch it, he didn't want, the Bravehearts to come out because he was like, man, we should have did the Bravehearts album right away, but they was like, let's do this Queensbridge album to jumpstart the label for Ill Will. Let's just make it a Queensbridge album or people from Queens. Before it became a Queens thing, it was just gonna be Queensbridge, just a borough. But then everybody wanted to get in and get involved. And it was like, man, we got to get this album done. So Getting it done was hard, but they actually got people to jump on the album, get some rhymes in, and they were able to, get that accomplished. Now, for Nas, while he's in the studio working on the album, Prodigy comes over there because they stay in like studio A and B. He slides over to Nas' studio session. So Nas is working on the QB album. So he slide over there and start talking to Nas. And was like, yo, man, we got a problem, done. And he was like, what's the problem? And he's telling him, yo, Don, I'm telling you, Don, these cats, man, Jay-Z dude, man, he foul. Now, at this time, he doesn't know. Nas know. Nas know everything at this point. Nas know about Carm and Jay, everything. This is when the Queensbridge album is getting ready to pop. So he knows about that those two together and was doing their thing. He know at this point. So when P is running this down to him about Jay being foul, at this time, Volume 2 had dropped and all that. But he was like, yo, son, this dude, he been out here talking about New York being soft. I think Volume 3 was even out before this was going on. So Volume 3 had been out and all that stuff. And the Dynasty was getting ready to come out or been out. So he's now the Jay-Z. But he's telling him the whole history of how dude been foul. Like, yo, Don, this dude was talking about us from the beginning, Don. He biting our style, man. Look at him. He trying to rap like us, dress like us. Wasn't nobody wearing football jerseys like that with the red cups out, you know what I'm saying, in the hood. He copying mob videos, and it was mostly Mobb Deep. He was copying what they were doing when they did that in the bridge. So he was nah, son. Nah, man. Nah, don't trip on that. Like, man, that ain't nothing, man. Dudes gonna do what they do. Like, nah, man. He ain't on it like that. He was like, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, man. He sent a whole bunch of subliminals. Man, he is like, man, you should let him know. And P was letting him know. P was like, I'm letting him know. And that's that. So P started throwing shots on him on the whole HNIC album. He was throwing shots at him on the Mobb Deep murder music. He was letting it be known, magazines. Like, that's why on the what was that on the song it's the real we the streets that's watching, boy, move diligent. You better walk like on the tightrope, dude. And that rhyme, it got hip hop quotable of the month. Prodigy did for Quiet Storm. He got hip hop quotable of the month, and he was dissing Jay. And the rhyme was so lethal, especially the last verse. Because see, people don't realize Quiet Storm was really that was gonna be on Prodigy's album. That was originally gonna be the HNIC record. Cause they was doing both at the same time. But Prodigy did Quiet Storm on his own. That was his song. Havoc is not on that record. But when they did the remix, Havoc's on the record. So it's Havoc, Prodigy, and then Lil Kim. And then that single just went crazy. That just went places that people never expected. Oh yeah, they were the most grittiest dudes in the game. So if you got some gritty rappers around you, this is the normal format of what happens. Now I must be leery to tell people, this led to a whole inner thing with Nas and Prodigy. Wasn't really because of Jay, because Nas, if you listen to the Queensbridge Finest song, when he got to the verse, because P told him about Memphis Bleak, yo, he trying to get his little mans to blow up by dissing us, man. So that's when Nas went to, oh, no, you didn't want to know who life was written and all this stuff. And he was started throwing shots at Jay. Everything Prodigy said to Nas, and Nas is like, nah, don't trip on it. He went and used every single thing Prodigy said to him in that verse when he did Queensbridge Finest. Who had the projects behind him? Who bid it the worst? Who was the true thugs of videos first? Who had the projects behind him? Who bid it the worst? He's talking about Jay. That was all directed at Jay. So it was unfortunate Nas and their relationship started to sour like almost right after that. First, it started with the album period. P was salty, his verse got cut because he was zoning out on the record. And they thought, oh man, he cut me off the record, because I was burning him up on the song. He cut my verse, and he was like, damn, you cut my verse, son? You cut them other dudes' verse and trim them down. You don't trim me down. But he was like, that's his way of showing he in charge. But the verse that went long and it was sick. And Prodigy was like, what? They cut it. And Nas is like, we cut the verse, we gotta make the song already too long. We gotta cut verses and cut lines. And he's like, they ain't cut yours, B. You know what I'm saying, Doug? They ain't cut you, Doug. But all in all, problems kept growing within the camp, within everybody. Everybody had a beef. Everybody had some type of thing holding them back, you know? And it just made for more and more problems. So when you start looking at like the spreadsheets of the problems, when Lake came home from jail, that's when problems started. Lake came home and got released from jail. That ended Nas and Prodigy's relationship. Lake came home and saw that these young rappers, man, these dudes been rapping about my life and how we was getting it in the streets, man. These dudes making millions of dollars. Nah, I gotta get some of that. So that changed the nature of the whole entire bridge. And when they come home, they hearing Mobb Deep, Mobb Deep, Mobb Deep. So Nas ain't really around like that. He come and go. And when Lake came through, he basically threw his arm around him and let him know this is what it is. We're the ones you need to be protecting and looking out for. We're the ones you need to be associated with. We gonna be your Queensbridge protection. Nobody touching you, done. You the golden child. Right, we home now. You shouted me out in your rhymes. So Nas feeling like he got real protection in the bridge now. These are his guys, and Nas is finna help him get a label and get on and all this stuff. So that project went into motion. And this is before Summer Jam hit and everything hit. Now, Lake and them fell out with Mobb Deep over, they went to a concert and he said, yo, we can get y'all in. But they went there to get let in so they could get on stage and rep and stuff. But the promoter said, which was the cops, said, hey, y'all got too many people with y'all. We at capacity. We can't get nobody else in. So they was like, forget it. We finna go steal these people's cars. So they just started stealing. Lake and his crew went and stole all these cars. And because they couldn't get in, even though they had the passes, they couldn't get in. They was at capacity. So P came out and they was like, dog, you did this. You had us come out here and embarrass us. You owe us some money for all this trouble. So he was like, I can't do that. And so it was really an extortion plan to lean on Prodigy, you know. So P was rolling with some other dudes from where Nas is at, you know, known as Bars and Hooks. That's the name they named him, the rap group he gave him. Mike DeLorean and his crew. And they just had a problem with Nas. Period. And because they had a problem with Nas, it was just unfathomed that these people would actually do this. You know what I'm saying? And when you get to a situation where you meet certain people or you roll with certain people from around the way, things get crazy. So Mike DeLorean didn't like Nas. He actually slapped Nas or punched Nas or whatever you want to call it when they was in the studio. And he blamed Prodigy for bringing this dude around. So, it's a touchy situation at this point. It gets to a situation where it wasn't cool no more. So you never want a situation to get to that point. But that's where it got to, and he was like, you hang out with Lake, and Lake, that dude want to kill me. You know what I'm saying? A dude came up there, he got guys just trying to kill me, on site, and you standing next to this dude. So, I know you don't feel that way, but you rolling with the dude that feel this way. So that's why the distance with them was there. So then Nas do the song because his mans is dissing Nas. His little mans is on there. One of the guys he got, they dissing Nas on the radio and dissing him on everything else. Like they dissing Nas and they from the bridge. So he was mad at Prodigy for letting it go down. Talking about get these disloyal people up out your circle. You can't save everybody. So it's a lot of crazy stuff going on, man, at that time. So by the time he was going at Jay, they were going at Jay too, but they were separated. You know what I'm saying? Nas and Mobb Deep weren't together. It was crazy times, B. Crazy, crazy time. Man, that's like 20. It's hard to believe that's like 20 something years ago. I'm sitting there just thinking about like, man, that's like 24 years ago, B. I got like cousins that's like they about to be 40, dog. This is crazy. Like they in the deep 30s. Like they old school now. Like for real. It's like they were like 4 or 5. I took them to the movie. They couldn't be no more than about 7 or 8 years old. And I took them to the movies to go see the Star Wars. And after that, that was like it. So next thing you know, boom, they like getting married. Just like, wow, it's crazy. It's mad crazy. So anyway, I gotta get up and get out. Appreciate all the love and support that y'all give me and have gave me, man. Shouts out to Kwame Brown. Welcome to HD TV. Shouts out to Ticket TV. He doing his thing out there. Mondo Black TV doing his thing, the real. Say shouts out to all those guys, man. Seahawks, Jose Rodriguez. Who else is doing their thing? D Style Boxing is doing this thing. Chris Carlson from Ropedo Radio is doing this thing. 78 Sports TV, Blood Boxing. Boxing and basketball, Sean doing his thing. Um, Angela Stanton King, she doing her thing, putting it down. It's a lot of realness going on out there, and it's a lot of fake going on out there. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow the banner, the Patreon. We went to the first stage of exposing some of the Hollywood gatekeepers and what they doing with this trafficking that's going on with these kids. So, it might cost me my life. It might just do that. You know, I'm already seeing weird activity. Y'all seeing it over here. So we telling y'all, man, keep your head on the swivel out here, because these streets, they ain't playing. They ain't playing fair. They not playing the right way. You heard me? Be easy.